Hi guys, Macman here. If you like my videos, please like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell notification and you'll get notifications whenever I post a new video. So in this video guys, yesterday I was loading up some 45 ACP. I was using Summit City 230 grain bullets, and I was loading them up on the Dillon 650, and as you can see there, the overall length I was using is 1.220. That's the length I needed. But unfortunately, as I was going through and loading on the 650, I wasn't paying 100% attention, and my actual die came loose and started to loosen up. And if you look at this one for a start, this one then is 1.2663. Let's grab another one. This one's even longer, 1.296, and you can see the difference there. As the die was walking out, so was my bullet length. This is the right length, this is the one that had walked out. And they vary from 1.220, what they should be, all the way up to over 1.3, even longer. And I was watching everything else. I was watching the powder measure, watching the primers, making sure all the cases weren't damaged as they were coming through. But unfortunately I didn't keep an eye on it. I just all of a sudden noticed, oh, that one looks long. Picked it out and measured it, and it was so much longer, and then I could see in the die then. So this one is actually 1.35055, 1.355. Huge difference. So I'm going to pull all these bullets and we'll go over onto the press, and I'll show you how I do the process. But unfortunately I did try and squeeze one down, but because they're crimped, they're not going to squeeze. They're rolling the powder coat over and digging in, so it's not going to work. So all these bullets are going to be pulled, and then I'm going to recycle them and melt them back down and make some of my own bullets up. But the cases I can reuse. All I'm going to need to do is pull, tip the powder out. These are already primed, so the case I can use, the prime case is going to be recycled and use that again. And lucky enough, all these are made with the same powder. I still have the powder out, so I'm going to reuse the powder. I'm going to be putting the powder back into the case. So I was lucky enough I didn't change powder. I know exactly what I used, so I'm going to be able to save the powder, the case and the primers, and then recycle the bullet. So things happen guys when you load in. I've been loading for 8 years and I can still make mistakes, so they do happen. It just brings to light that you've got to be so careful when you're loading up, keeping an eye on everything. And so I'm just going to switch off for a second. We'll move over to the press and I'll run through the way I pull these bullets. Okay guys, this is the setup I'm going to use. So this is my RCBS rock chucker. I call it my dirty press. So this is where I'll do all my depriming, bullet pulling. It's just set up to do my dirty stuff. I like to use the RCBS bullet puller. Comes with different collets. This one's obviously 45 cal. Screw those in. And I've changed my top out, and I've actually put in the Hornady like lock and load system, so it's a lot easier, a lot quicker. I can just put it in and lock it down, and there you go. I keep a little plastic clay cup. I'm going to be putting my powder in here, keep an eye on it, make sure there's no contaminants in there as I'm tipping them out, and it's easy to pour back into the main jug once we finish doing this process. So there's a little cup I'm going to use to catch the powder. I've got a basket back there to catch the old shells. and the lead is just going to get thrown into a recycle bin, and that will be melted down and recycled. So over there is my recycle bin. So as I said, a lot of these bullets are super long. I made the mistake of not concentrating, so just pop it in the shell holder, bring it up into the bottom of the tool, and then you can just tighten it down, nip it down, and hopefully with but one push it pulls it out. So I know all this powder is all the same, and I know what jug it's come from. So I'm just gonna tip the powder out. Sorry about that, guys, the battery went dead, had to change it out. And there's the bullet. This one came out pretty clean, but it's already got a little indentation in it. So I'm not going to reuse these. These are just going to get recycled. I don't know if it's broken the powder coat or anything on it, but let's just recycle it. So again, just grab one, put it in the shell holder, bring it up into the tool, and it just stops touching the brass. Give it a little clamp down and push the press forward. Powder into the tub. Brass in the basket. And again, there's the bullet. It has got a little mark on that one where it pulled it out. So I'm not going to reuse these, guys. I'm going to recycle them. So straight up clamp. Clamp it a bit tighter. And out it comes. Again, just dump the powder. You can see the powder is nice and clean. There's no contaminants or nothing in it. This is going to be all good to use. So, and then the case is fine. All I'll have to do is I'll resize it again. I don't need to resize it, but it will go through the resizer, and when it goes into the powder funnel, it'll funnel the top a little bit, ready to take the new bullet. I'm not going to waste these. You know how hard it is and how expensive primers are at the moment, so I'm just going to recycle all that. And the bullet itself again, it's pulling them out nice and clean. I might get away with using them, but I don't think I want to. They've got the indentation in them where I crimped it down. I don't know if they've cracked or split that. I wouldn't want to do it again. So safer for me just to recycle them. So they pop out pretty easy. Dump the powder, dump the shell, recycle. So even though I've got a bunch of them, guys, it shouldn't take me too long to go through this and get all these pulled. It is a little bit annoying that I spent all that time making these yesterday, and through my own fault, not concentrating. The smallest thing can happen. The die came loose. Every time I pulled the lever, it was walking out. So just next time I'll make sure I concentrate a bit more. But it was an excuse to make this video. Show you a couple of things that I like to do when I'm pulling my bullets. I do use the hammer method for pulling them out, but this seems to work better. Now this one is a little bit shorter, so it's struggling to actually grip onto the bullet itself. It's just slipping past it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this one to come out. Just tighten that up, and there you go. So dump the powder. And then this time again, it hasn't really scratched it up at all, but you can see it's definitely split the coat in, the high-tech coat in there, and it's just not worth it. It's just, we cast, guys, so we can recycle these. least I'm saving all my powder. I'm going to reuse the brass and not losing the primers. And there you go. It's as easy as that, guys. So you can see you can get through this pretty quick. It's not a long process. And if I just take you over here quickly, I can show you what happened on the press. So here's the setup I was using on the Dillon 650, and here my sizing die. This nut, locking nut, wasn't quite nipped up, and it had started to walk. The whole inside started to walk, and when I checked it, there was quite a gap between the bottom die and the lock nut right here. So, but keeping an eye on everything else, I wasn't watching the die, and I just happened to see, just looked down and thought, why is that bullet sticking out so much? Soon found out. So there you go, guys. Mistakes happen. Lucky enough, it wasn't too serious. I can recycle everything and we'll be good to go. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you do, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next.